Hello guys, it's Ace from Goblin-Inc. Welcome to our Necromancer starting guide. This guide aims to cover your best leveling build, endgame builds, tips and tricks, leveling strategies, and even some obscure fun knowledge. Now, in my opinion, the best leveling build, Bone Spear, is also at the moment the best endgame build. I'm expecting a pre-launch patch, but you will not be needing to watch another video to get an updated build. Builds, cheat sheets, and useful links that I have in the description will be updated when the patch hits, if it happens. I will be online also on Twitch few hours before servers open, so you can always ask Mr. Streamer in chat. Bone Spear is very strong against both packs, but also in single target. It has high base damage, the ability to penetrate enemies, and comes in with inbuilt vulnerability, which is extremely powerful. Minions will be our frontline and ready to die for us, but also a great source of extra damage in the early game. They come with high base stats, but don't scale very well late game, as they only gain 30% from most of your stats. Our choice will be Defenders and Cold Mages for minions. We'll be choosing the first option for both for the extra tankiness and essence generation they provide. At level 25, we'll gain the ability to summon our Golem, and after completing our class quest, we'll be using the Golem till we switch to our ultimate, then we can switch to attack speed bonus on Sacrifice. Generating essence, it's always a problem early game. Bone Splinters will be our basic ability. Bone Prison provides another layer of defense, but also generates essence for us and applies vulnerability at the same time. Iron Maiden, a bit of a horrible ability, but we're gonna be using it for the passive generation essence it gives. Use it once on large packs and you will get a ton of essence for that. During bosses or hard fights, I like to switch to Decrepify for the extra damage reduction and slow it gives. For ultimate, we'll be taking Army of the Dead. It's amazing when you run out of corpses, and especially again for bosses or hard fights. It's difficult to generate corpses in these cases. For strongholds as well, so very clutch a lot of times. When you stop feeling the need to rely on Army of the Dead though for bosses, switch to Bone Storm, as it does increase your damage quite a bit. At around level 50, you should start to think about switching to the endgame version of Bone Spear, which you will be finding in the description. I will also research the best theory crafter, older builds, put them on a tier list, and leave them for you in the description in case you prefer a different playstyle than Bone Spear, so you're gonna have everything. For aspects, Aspect of the Protector from Lost Archives in Fractured Peaks against Elite is very good. Splintering Aspect is from the campaign. This one is your primary Bone Spear aspect, which makes enemies beyond the first target you hit also vulnerable, so very good for AoE. Another aspect you get from the campaign in Dry Steppes at the same time is Aspect of Might, which basic skill grants 20% damage reduction, very strong. A bit of a more optional one, the Edge Master aspect in Scosglen. More damage, the more resource you have, really annoying to play with because you have to manage your resources. Aspect of the Grasping Veins instead, in Corrupted Grotto, Kyrgyzstan. I don't have this one in my build because you need crit chance to use it, otherwise you don't crit and you don't do any damage. If you have crit chance, swap this in with Corpse Tendrils and take out the Bone Prison and you will do more damage. For leveling, we are gonna be playing in World Tier 1. It's 20% less XP from killing mobs, but because most XP comes from the main quest, it's much better to kill things faster and moves quicker. If you find yourself one-shotting mobs, you can go up to World Tier 2. At around level 45, once we complete the story mode, that's when you can enter the level 50 Capstone Dungeon and unlock World Tier 3 and jump directly to that one. Focus the main questline, as it is a lot of XP and you have to complete that. Only kill mobs when they're in packs or elites. World events are extremely strong. They're the ones in orange. They give great EXP and they can drop special currency called obols there is a cap on how many obols you can have. When you are almost full, go to the vendor and buy everything you can, and maybe you get some really good legendaries from that. Side quests, I advise to skip them. Your renown will reset in July, but if you want to complete it in June, you will need to do about 5 side quests to get the full renown if you complete everything to 100%. First, you'll complete the first 3 levels of renown. You get the skill points from that. This will happen normally just by playing the game. You will get the first skill point very easily, and the second one you will get it after you complete the dungeons and strongholds later on. To unlock the 5th renown reward, you will need to complete almost every single thing, discover every single area, every statue, everything, and do about 5 quests. I think that is a lot of work just for pre-season, but of course everyone is free to enjoy the game however they like. For Elixir, 5% EXP buff, and to upgrade your potion, you will need to pick up plants while playing the game. You will start finding Galawan right away in the first few levels, so don't worry about that. Gather all the plants you find, and when you get the quest to upgrade your potions, you can visit the local Starbucks, upgrade your potion in town, buy as many elixir as you can, and off you go to level up again. For Lilith statues, you decide if they're worth to you or not. They will give you 2 things: points for the renown system and also basic stats. The positive thing is that you will retain the extra stats on a new season, but the renown bonus they give, you will have to go there and click them again. If you wanna do that, I left you with an interactive world map. It has all Lilith statue. Feel free to uncheck the things you don't want to see and pick up Lilith statues along the way while you quest. For dungeons, I like doing the ones that give me the aspects I need for leveling and do the rest late game when I get better things from them after World Tier 3. Strongholds, you start doing them at around level 13. They give you a ton of renown, EXP, and unlock new areas. After level 25 and completing the Necromancer class quest, you'll be armed with your golem. Now it's a good time to go and challenge high level stronghold of Kordagan at level 25 and attempt to unlock the 15% EXP buff from the campfire. The red X is the stronghold and the green X is the campfire location. Apparently, this campfire is tied to a nearby event, so you can only activate if the event is going on. After you complete the stronghold, swing by, try to activate the campfire, and if you can, you'll get a juicy XP buff from it. It stacks up to 15%, very good for leveling. World bosses are one of the best, if not the best, source of legendaries at lower levels. They are timed events, all at the same time. I suggest to make sure to do them on World Tier 1, because I doubt people will be able to kill them at higher difficulties, especially at the start of the game, and you will get a ton of legendaries from that. After you complete the main campaign, wait till you are at least level 45, attempt the level 50 capstone dungeon, and I suggest at this point you start switching towards one of the endgame builds in the description. After you enter World Tier 3, World Events and Nightmare Dungeons are gonna be a great way to level up towards World Tier 4. The best way to level up though would be the PvP zone. It has very high mob density and you get a ton of unique and legendaries from the rewards, but of course you're gonna have to kill some people for that. Now, some tips and tricks about gear are in order. For example, should you sell or disenchant gear? It's best to salvage everything blue or higher at lower levels and start selling at higher levels. Only sell items if you need gold. Disenchanting at higher levels gives the same amount of materials but a lot more gold, so doing it early game doesn't really make a lot of sense. I know getting overwhelmed with gear is a problem that also I had when starting Diablo 4, so those are some tips. Always use two-handed weapon with the most damage. Try to see if it can have a vulnerability on it, that would be ideal. For rings, try to use anything that has vulnerability and maybe damage to something else, but don't bother obsessing over item level for rings. Same things for amulet. Try to get an offensive bonus and don't bother about the item level, not a big deal. Now, for every other item, having high armor and some random mods from the rare items really good, so you don't stress about it. Just try to have your boots with move speed, and for everything else, use a rare with high armor. Endgame. is gonna be the last thing we talk about, is endgame builds. I will do my best to find all the best build for each type of necro by all the best dairy crafters out there, and I'm gonna have them ready for you in the description, so check that out. The last and most important leveling tip, never kill goblins when you see them. Always let them escape, as they bring good luck, otherwise you lose about 5 levels, and you might even get banned, I heard, but, you know, unconfirmed. Never kill goblins though. Hope you enjoyed the video, see you next one, gobble gobble!